Whiskers and the Wiggly String. Once upon a time, in a cozy backyard filled with sunshine and flowers, there lived a fluffy orange cat named Whiskers. Whiskers had soft fur like a peach, big green eyes that sparkled like emeralds, and the most wonderful little pink nose that twitched whenever something interesting was happening. And something interesting was always happening in Whiskers' favorite place in the whole wide world, Mama's garden. Every morning, when the sun painted the sky with pink and orange stripes, Whiskers would stretch her paws, wiggle her whiskers, and pat outside to find Mama in the garden. Mama would be wearing her big straw hat and her green gloves with the happy sunflowers on them. "Good morning, my little helper," Mama would say, scratching behind Whiskers' ears just the way she liked. Whiskers would purr so loudly, like a tiny motor. When Mama watered the thirsty flowers, Whiskers was right there. She'd find the warmest, sunniest spot of soil, the kind that felt like a cozy blanket just out of the dryer, and she'd flop down with a happy sigh. Sometimes she'd roll on her back with her paws in the air, soaking up the warm sunshine like a fuzzy little sunflower herself. "You're my best garden helper, Whiskers," Mama would laugh, giving the sleepy kitty gentle pats. When Mama pulled up the sneaky weeds that tried to steal food from the vegetables, Whiskers watched with her wise green eyes. She'd bat at the dandelion fluff that floated through the air like tiny fairies. Pounce, swat, jump. Sometimes she'd catch one, and sometimes the dandelion fluff would land right on her nose and make her sneeze. Achoo, which always made Mama giggle. But Whiskers' very favorite thing was watching the garden grow. The lettuce leaves got bigger and frillier, like fancy green skirts. The carrots pushed their orange noses up through the dirt to say hello. The beans climbed up their poles like they were trying to touch the clouds. And the tomatoes? Oh, the tomatoes. They grew round and green, then slowly turned yellow, then orange, then the most beautiful red, like shiny Christmas ornaments hanging in the green leaves. One sunny morning, Mama came into the garden with something Whiskers had never seen before. It was a ball of string, smooth white string that looked soft and perfect and absolutely, positively, wonderfully playable. Whiskers' ears perked up. Her eyes got very big and very round. The tip of her tail began to twitch. "Now, Whiskers," Mama said with a smile, "I need to tie up these big tomato plants so they can grow even stronger. The tomatoes are getting so heavy that the plants need some help to hold them up. Can you be a good helper while I work?" Whiskers sat down and tried her very best to look like a very good helper. She sat up straight and tall, wrapped her tail neatly around her paws, and watched Mama start to work. Mama gently pulled a long piece of string from the ball. She tied it carefully to the first tomato plant, wrapping it around the thick green stem, and then attaching it to the tall wooden stake. But then, the string wiggled. It wiggled in the breeze. It danced and swayed and moved like a living thing. Whiskers couldn't help it. Her paws started to twitch. Her whiskers trembled. Every bit of her was thinking, "That string looks like it wants to play." She crept forward. 1 paw, 2 paws, 3 paws, 4, low to the ground like a little tiger stalking through the jungle. Her bottom wiggled as she got ready to pounce. "Whiskers," Mama said in her warning voice. But it was too late. Pounce. Whiskers jumped on the string with both front paws. It felt exactly as wonderful as she'd imagined, smooth and cool and perfect for catching. She grabbed it with her paws. She kicked it with her back feet. She rolled over with it, clutched to her tummy. "Oh, Whiskers!" Mama laughed. Trying to hold onto her end of the string, slipped right out of Mama's hands. Now Whiskers had the whole string, and it was the most fun toy ever. She ran through the garden, and the string bounced and wiggled behind her like a long white snake. She zipped between the rows of lettuce. Zoom. She darted around the bean poles. Whoosh. She leaped over the carrot patch. Boing. The ball of string unrolled and unrolled, leaving a trail of white through the whole garden like a silly maze. "Whiskers, come back," Mama called, but she was laughing too hard to sound very serious. Whiskers was having too much fun to stop. She jumped sideways like a little bronco. She spun in circles, chasing the string that chased her. Round and round she went, faster and faster until— oh no! The string had wrapped around her middle and around her back leg, and somehow it looped around her tail. Whiskers tried to take a step forward, but tug, the string pulled her back. She tried to sit down, but tug, the string lifted her paw up in the air. She turned to look at her tail, but tug, the string made her spin in a circle. She looked like a fuzzy orange present that someone had wrapped with a big white ribbon. Mew, said Whiskers, confused. Mew, mew, mew. She took a wobbly step that made her look like she was doing a silly dance. Mama hurried over, still laughing so much that tears ran down her cheeks. Oh, my sweet, silly Whiskers. Look what you've done to yourself. Very gently and carefully, Mama began to untangle the string. She unwrapped it from around Whiskers' soft tummy. Unloop. She carefully removed it from her back leg. Unloop, unloop. She freed her fluffy tail. Unloop, unloop, unloop. There we go, Mama said softly, giving Whiskers a gentle hug. All better. Whiskers shook herself from her ears to her tail, making sure everything was back where it belonged. Then she looked at the string, still in a tangled pile on the ground, and she looked up at Mama with her big green eyes. She seemed to be thinking very hard about whether playing with the string had been a good idea after all. Mama scratched behind Whiskers' ears. You know what? I think I need a helper who's good at something else. How about you go lie in your favorite warm spot and supervise me? That's a very important job. Whiskers perked up, supervising. That sounded like something she could do very well. She padded over to the warmest, sunniest patch of soil, right in the middle of the garden where she could see everything. She circled around once, twice, 3 times, and then settled down with a contented purr. From her cozy spot, Whiskers watched Mama tie up all the tomato plants one by one. The string behaved itself this time, staying right where Mama put it, helping the heavy tomato plants stand tall and proud. Thank you for being such a good supervisor, Whiskers, Mama said when she finished. The tomatoes will grow even bigger now, and when they're ripe and red, we'll pick them together. Won't that be wonderful? Whiskers purred even louder. Yes, that would be wonderful indeed. And the warm soil felt so nice, and the sunshine was so bright, and Mama was right there in the garden where she belonged. Soon Whiskers' eyes drooped closed, and she fell fast asleep, dreaming of tomatoes as red as rubies, and dancing dandelion fluff, and maybe, just maybe, a little bit about that wonderfully playful string. And when the tomatoes did grow big and red and ripe, Whiskers was right there to help pick them, just like Mama promised. Because no matter what silly adventures happened in the garden, Whiskers would always be Mama's best helper, even if sometimes she helped in the silliest ways possible. The end.